Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach.
And I'm Pepper.
And today we're giving our first impressions of Azul Summer Pavilion, which is the third Azul game, I believe.
I believe so.
I believe.
So you got Azul Stained Glass of Sintra, this one, Azul Summer Pavilion, and then Azul Queen's Garden is the fourth one. They also have a mini version of the original Azul, and then a chocolatier version of the original Azul as well.
Yes, I think adds maybe a minor
little
different thing you can add to the game. But otherwise, I think you can just play it as normal Azul as well, I think.
And I think this is I guess, which order did you play them in? The second one.
Mm-hmm.
And then did you play the first one with
I can't remember
or something?
No, but I might have played it on Board Game Arena. I either played it.
I think this was my second one that I played, I believe.
I think, this is either my second or third. I don't remember when I played the first one on Board Game Arena. So those ones were one or the other, and then the other one played fourth.
Your first impression was playing this in Vegas at the World Series of Board Gaming. So while we weren't in the fierce competition of Wingspan and or Terraforming Mars tournaments, we were in the open gaming area, and I believe while I was in the second round of Wingspan, I moved on past the first one. You and Michaela found this one in the Dice Tower library and tried it out, and I guess how did that go? And we actually ended up getting this in Vegas, so it probably made a pretty good first impression.
Yeah, so I think we ended up playing some of the scoring a little bit incorrectly the first time with the connecting, getting additional points. I don't remember how we did it, but we did something strange. I don't remember exactly.
Did you do like the number of tiles it took to place it? Score that many points?
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but we were doing something slightly wrong. But yeah, but otherwise, then you guys, I think, played it.
Yeah, we played it, and then someone came up and asked to join, which a lot of people just are really like friendly and like, oh, can I join you? Or, oh, this is so often they're like, this is like my favorite game. I think like Shakespeare, they did that. And it's just crazy. I've just never experienced that, but that was go watch our Vegas video.
Yes.
And we'll talk about these.
Yeah, we'll link that below.
Yeah.
If you want to check those out.
But yeah, then they joined, and they actually figured out during playing it that the scoring didn't quite make sense how we had taught it. And they're like, are you sure it's not this way? And it turned out they're smarter than we are. They didn't even have to read the rules. They could just tell like there's something wrong with the scoring. And then looked in the rule book and got the correct form of scoring, and then we played that.
Yeah. I think if I remember right, something did maybe feel off for me when we were doing the scoring, or I think that was part of it that didn't seem as enjoyable. Maybe I can't remember exactly. It's been a while now, been over a year. But yeah, once I think we knew how to play it that way, that sounded a lot better. And we ended up buying it there, and now we've played it a couple more times. So kind of first impression, I think I've played it a few more times than you have.
I think I've only played it twice.
Yeah, I think I've played it maybe 3 or 4 times, but I think this one, so we had, with our first one being played with Stained Glass of Sintra, we had that one. We don't any longer, but I would say I enjoyed this one maybe a little bit more than that one then. I like what this one has to offer.
Don't spoil the ranking video. We're going to have a ranking video.
So you'll have to go check that out to see our official rankings. But if you've only ever played maybe the base version of Azul, a lot of it is similar. At least the picking up of tiles is a similar process. But this time there's wild tiles each round. And when you're picking up a group, if there's also one of those wild tiles, you get that in addition. And then you can use those. In this one, instead of lines that you're filling out, either 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, you're filling in these little pieces of almost like a star or flower, and one of them has a 1 on it all the way through 6. And you have to discard that many of that color in order to place one on there. And then what you're kind of trying to do is sort of fill in all of those. So in total, it's going to cost you like what is it,
Wow.
21 possible tiles to fill one in completely.
Yep. Yep.
Um, between either that color and possibly the wild ones,
Yep.
and then that can get you some bonus points. And as you're putting them on there, it'll be one, and then you'll add one for each one
So like
in an
similar to
adjacent
the
group.
original Azul. So
Right.
So if you fill in your one red with discarding one token or putting it on there, since it's only one, and then that'll get you 1 point because it's only in a group of one. If you then place your 3 red, that's not touching the 1 by a side, so that would also be 1 point. But then if the next one, I don't know why you do it in this order, but then you do the 2 red, which is then part of a group of 3, that would be worth 3 points there, which, yeah, and it does also get you bonuses for kind of different spots that you surround on the board,
Yep.
which get you tiles on a kind of middle market of bonus extra tiles that you can get, and I thought that was just like a really nice additional way to kind of boost your resources or your tiles
Yep.
in the game and kind of extend your turns and be able to. You just felt freer in this one than other Azuls
Yeah.
as to what you could do in the round and where you could place them.
Yeah, for sure. And then even if you kind of filled in some of those spots in certain colors, there's a middle one that you need kind of one of each color. So depending on what you put where, you'll have to spend some additional of those colors in the middle too if you want to get that one. But yeah, I think I was pretty excited about this one. I really like the look of this one. Probably even more than the original at that time, and I think even now still I think this one looks the nicest to me. I just like the diamond tiles maybe
Yep.
a little bit. I think they just feel a little bit different than the original. I don't think any of them from the ones we played have bad tiles, but
No.
these ones might be my favorite ones. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I might like these the best. Although I don't know why the red and the purple can be confusing in
That's true.
certain lighting,
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
those are two of the ones that do not have a pattern printed on
That's
them.
fair.
So the most likely to confuse, at least not bringing in colorblind type
Right.
of deal, and
That's
those
fair.
ones have the same
Those are
non-pattern.
kind of close.
But yeah, they are. If you've liked any of the Azuls component-wise, I think you're gonna like this one too.
But yeah, so after my plays, I would say this one's probably at maybe 7.75 to 8. I like it quite a bit. It's pretty simple. For some reason, I don't know, some of the rules in this one, still with that scoring, I think it's just based on getting the scoring wrong the first time. I always have to
Yeah.
kind of look back when we replay this one, just to make sure we're doing the scoring right and whatnot. But otherwise, I think everything else is pretty smooth. It's very similar to the other
Yep.
other ones. I think just as long as you remember too that you get a wild one, I think that can be
yeah.
something that can maybe be easy to forget. So there's maybe a couple rules in there that are a little bit more easy
Yeah.
to forget than maybe like the original, if that's the only one you've played. But everything else in it makes sense. You can carry over 4 tiles per round.
Yeah, that's really nice, especially because you can only take one of the wild color in a round, so, and you know which one is going to be wild in each round, so maybe a previous round you can save up like extra tiles of the upcoming wild color, and like I said, it's just so much more you can do to kind of manipulate, I guess, your different tiles and how you want to use them. I'm probably coming in at, I mean, it's just another great entry into the Azul system. It's familiar, but with a twist, and probably have to give it maybe an 8.5.
Yeah.
I really enjoy this. It could be a higher, possibly, but I do feel that when I do want to fill in a full star, when you get to the higher ones, it just feels very hard
It
to
is tough.
actually get that done because you're going to have to do a 5. Like you said, you're going to get 21 tiles of them throughout the game, which with the wilds, that does help a lot.
Yeah.
But it is hard when you get into some of those later rounds, and it's like, I still have a long way to go. I still got to get the 5. I got to get the 6. Don't have that many wilds here. Maybe that color is the wild, and it's like, well, it just feels bad because I've kind of saved
Right.
up some of the reds, so I don't want to use them as wilds, but I also want to do some other stuff, and you can't.
Right, and then always remember, specifically the red, because that one is always the last one to be wild.
Yep.
Going into that last round, if you need to complete your red, you have no other wilds. It's just you have your red tile, so that can be something. I feel like that happened to me in a game where I got to the end and wasn't really paying attention. I'm like, oh, well, red's the wild color, so it's not even like I have two options here to try to complete this.
Yeah, that was the big one I went for too.
Which makes it tough, but that can be a little tricky sometimes if you only have like the 6 and 5 left, and then you got like 4 tiles that you can use because you obviously, like I said, you can only bring 4 over. So then if you wanted to bring something else over, then it's like, do I spend this maybe on the center? So it kind of makes you, but then you're probably throwing away any opportunity you have to complete it. It's one of those. It gives you some nice, interesting decisions.
Yeah. The taking the first player token, I think, is kind of different in this one, where when you do take from that center area, you obviously, if you're the first one, you have to take that center token, and you lose points equal to the amount of tiles that you took. So as it gets juicier and juicier, it's more and more painful to take it, which I thought was interesting. I like that bit.
Yeah, I like that one quite a bit. But that's another one of those rules that's a little hard to remember if you haven't played the game in a little bit.
True.
So that's the thing with this one. I would say is just a couple rules.
I didn't even remember that was a rule. We probably never even played with it.
That's what I'm thinking, because I'm like,
play for me.
I didn't remember if that was. I thought, because it's like I feel like there should be some negative with taking the first player, because usually there is. I think. I'm trying to remember in Stained Glass. It's been a while since we played Stained Glass, but I think that one had. Did it have a negative?
I don't think
remember.
So. I think just the breaking glass was.
Oh, yeah, could be. But if you want to see some of the components or some of the artwork on some of these, you can check out our unboxing video that will come out alongside this. And we're going, like you said, we're probably going to be ranking the Azul games that we've played all at least once. So check out that video, subscribe if you want to see that when that comes out, and otherwise we hope to see you on other videos, and as always, don't forget to
keep on nibbling
on our content.